Coming up this morning, mortuary workers begin their sit-down strike today, raising fears of a disease outbreak and health concerns. Also have in mind that today at 9 p.m. we'll be premiering Troubled Morgue. Also coming up, fate of Stop Galamsey Now conveners Oliver Baka-Vomawo and Felicity Nelson together with 11 other protesters to be detained later, later today at an Accra Circuit Court. Minority in Parliament accused government and the Ghana Gas Company of attempting to sign $800 million contract for gas processing without parliamentary approval. And on a foreign... Details of these and more stories coming your way in the next 20 minutes. My name is Godwin Asideba. The fate of convener for Fix the Country and member of Democracy Hub Oliver Baka-Vomawo and Felicity Nelson together with 11 other protesters will be determined by an Accra Circuit Court later today after they were arraigned on Wednesday, with the exception of Oliver Baka-Vomawo and Fanny Otu, who were both absent from court due to ill health. The remaining 11 pleaded not guilty to 6 counts of charges preferred against them. A statement by the Ghana Police Service revealed that Oliver Baka-Vomawo was also taken to the police hospital for medical attention after he reported sick on Tuesday, September 24. Doctors assessed his condition and admitted him for treatment. The arrest of some protesters of the Stop Galamsey Now demonstration have heightened calls for government's immediate intervention to the canker causing destruction to the environment and water bodies. For General Secretary of the Ghana Agricultural Workers Union, Edward Chirakarewe, the arrest is a clear case of abuse of power, casting doubt on the country's readiness to end Galamsey.
Reactions on the arrest of the protesters came to bear at the Media General and Nature and Development Foundation Thought Leadership Forum. On the sidelines, advocates and experts frowned on the arrest.
The arrest of these protesters is a clear example of the state abusing its power. The police have no business arresting these protesters. What are they doing? Galamsey is not even taking place in Accra. And these are young men and women who have gathered and come to Accra to do demonstration to draw home what we already know.
Deputy National Director of Arocha Ghana, Dario Bosu, expressed total devastation of the fallout of what he described as a peaceful demonstration for a worthy cause.
When I heard what was happening, I wished I should have been on the ground. And I'm really going to make it a point that anytime there's not a demonstration like this, in the interest of the people and against an issue like Galamsey, we are all going to join. But I think what has happened now with respect to the protesters is unfair, and because these people are standing for an issue of human rights, and we believe that the state should have prioritized that over anything else.
Member of Parliament for Asante Achem North and the Apia Kubi shared a different view.
The fact of you demonstrating against some happening that you disagree with doesn't also give you the right to come and vandalize my property. If I'm selling along the street and you come throwing stones at my doors and my glasses, and I mean, is it part of your demonstration?
Director of Operations and Nature and Development Foundation, Glenn Asumenin, explained a bail was crucial regardless of the extent of crime.
Even if they have faulted, I believe that they should still be granted bail, and then the right process will take, will take its course. But I mean, I don't know what offense it was, which would get you to say I would not, won't allow them bail.
The protesters, who are under police and prison custody, have been charged, among others, with conspiracy to commit crime and unlawful gathering.
Former Chief Executive Officer of Minerals Commission, Tony Obin, has called for the repeal of LI 2462 that allows for mining in forest reserves. He joined other guest speakers and panelists at the Thought Leadership Forum organized by Media General in partnership with Nature and Development Foundation, who resolved that a state of emergency should be called, placing a moratorium on all forms of mining. My colleague George Koenig has more.
It was a well-thought-out platform to proffer solutions to galamsey, a major distraction to the environment, water bodies, threatening the source of livelihood of millions of Ghanaians, as well as treatment for water. For years, the fight against galamsey appears to be a lost fight with no end in sight. Experts in security, law, academia, mining and environmental protection admitted that action is what is needed at this critical time.
We all have a responsibility as citizens, but more so as government. But the government acts based on what the citizens want. So maybe if we cry loud enough, government will hear us.
Former Chief Executive Officer of the Minerals Commission, Tony Obin, wants the airline that allows for mining in forest reserves repealed.
First of all, Mr. President must announce, must come back to fellow Ghanaians again. Fellow Ghanaians, I said we should do the forest, where they were mining in the forest, but no, we have taken it out. I think it will bring confidence. Otherwise, nobody is confident that we're able to resolve this. When you talk to the same things, talk.
Member of Parliament for Asante Achem North, Andy Apia Kubi, said the fight against galamsey should be devoid of politics.
Let all political leaders come together and make a statement, and let's hold them to it.
Thank you very much.
The president is going, but the people who are coming after him, what will they do?
On the part of former legal advisor to Operation Vanguard and legal practitioner Dr. Jamal Tonzua, there is no political will and commitment to fight the canker.
Why did we not use satellite technology? Because we didn't tell the politicians we know what should be done. We just told them that, oh, national security, we have an institution, we put them there, and they gave it to us. We must tell them that we know what we want. We must be data-driven and evidence-based in this new approach.
Panelists acknowledge the call for a state of emergency to deal with galamsey.
Who in his right mind, who has the interest of Ghanaians at heart, will think of passing LI 2462? It's perverse.
My sadness goes to the fact that my children are in their 50s, my grandchildren in their 30s. And it's for them that I weep. Because if you run Ghana like this, Ghana will be no more. We are killing Ghana.
If certain people are not complicit, there's no way galamsey will happen. That is a fact. If you go to some of the communities, you see the police, mining is happening right behind them. In Mortuary, the community is so agitated. They want to stop mining in Densu River. The police in the district is not ready to support them.
The Center for Scientific and Industrial Research, CSIR, in its latest findings, has revealed how all 5 rivers in southwestern basin have been destroyed owing to illegal mining. The forum was under the theme, the galamsey fight, beyond the talk, what next? George Quenin, TV3 News, Accra.
Mortuary workers in Ghana have started a nationwide strike effective this morning in protest of poor working conditions and unresolved grievances. The mortuary workers served notice to the government citing deliberate neglect of their demands. They emphasized that the strike is a last resort after repeated attempts to resolve their issues. According to workers, their concerns include inadequate provision of personal protective equipment, PPE, leaving workers exposed to all sorts of health hazards. Meanwhile, despite the appalling state of morgues in the country, mortuary workers continue to endure inhumane conditions, battling flies and exposure to various infections. In my latest documentary, Troubled Morgue, let's uncover the unsettling truth about these neglected facilities, which airs later tonight at 9 p.m. Here, except it's still early in the morning, so viewer discretion is highly advised. For the umpteenth time, mortuary attendants have gone on strike to demand better conditions of service. The General Secretary of the Mortuary Workers Association of Ghana, Richard Jordan, revealed that some attendants at the Kolebu Teaching Hospital are developing serious health complications, with others losing their lives.
Serious. We've lost over 30 in a year. Kolebu has lost 3 people in just this year. They are all dying everywhere. so many mess. So everybody is sick at the mortuary. In fact, there's nobody I can say is physically fit. If we should do a test on all of them now, I can tell you, is either the person is visually going impaired, is either the person is actually having a problem with his waist because of the lifting, the legs, or the person is having some kind of kidney problem or maybe some lungs problem. We are working in very unconducive environment which is not fit for purpose. Many of them have been neglected beyond human use.
Back inside the Kolebu mortuary, Kawe, not her real name, now in her 11th year as a mortuary attendant, continues to face stigma and isolation.
Yeah, Brankasa. So someone will pass away, if whether it's HIV, tuberculosis, you don't know what kind of sickness is taking this person to his early or his grave. But that's your work for you to do. So please, the government to come to our head and listen to us. We have tried to talk to them severally, but no response.
The smell in here is absolutely unbearable. You can't be able to stay around for more than a minute. Now, it is alleged that the wastewater from the Kolebu Teaching Hospital, together with its morgue, flows through its channels where it finally passes through this bigger drain which connects to the Kole Lagoon and finally settles in at the sea. This is unhealthy and poses serious health risk to the populace.
Don't forget Troubled Morgue airs tonight on The Assignment at 9 p.m. TV3 is learning that the Managing Director of Electricity Company of Ghana, ECG, Samuel Dubik Mahama, has officially resigned from his position. A letter cited by TV3 and addressed to the board chairman of ECG, Mr. Mahama writes, and I quote, "I'm writing to formally resign from my position as Managing Director of the Electricity Company of Ghana, effective 2 weeks from the above date. The decision has not come easily, but after much reflection, I have concluded that it is in my best interest to step away for personal reasons. Over the past 2 years and 4 months, I have had the profound honor of serving this esteemed organization, and I am truly grateful for the opportunities I have received." The minority in Parliament says government and the Ghana Gas Company are attempting to sign a $800 million contract for gas processing without parliamentary approval. Ranking member of the Energy Committee of Parliament, John Jinapo, says the contract has the tendency to cause judgment debt and cautioned the chief executive of the Ghana Gas Company to desist from signing it.
The initial tender had to do with a company called Phoenix. Surprisingly and strangely, that company has metamorphosized into an SPV, ostensibly to avoid parliamentary scrutiny. But more importantly, as we speak, the government of Ghana and Ghana Gas have not secured a firm commitment on the supply of raw gas for processing by this entity that they want to sign a contract with. And with just about 2 months to leave office, they are determined to use whatever means possible to compel the chief executive to execute this contract. On behalf of the minority, on behalf of the NDC, let me send a very firm and stern warning to the chief executive of the Ghana Gas Company Limited. Don't allow yourself or politicians to use you for their selfish parochial interest and gains. This contract has the tendency and high probability of causing serious judgment debt. We therefore call on Ghana Gas to make all the documents available to Parliament.
He says he has the express instruction from the minority leader to initiate processes to call for a full-scale parliamentary inquiry. The Yape Kosogu MP added the same Ghana Gas has entered into a contract with Rockshore for a bottling plant at $24 million when a similar plant was constructed in Tema for $14 million. He says Rockshore Company has already received 30% advanced payment, even though the company has not executed the work.
The work was to be done within 24 months. From 2021 to date, your guess is as good as mine. And yet, Ghana Gas has been obstructed from pursuing Rockshore to either retrieve the monies or compel them to execute this project. Let me once again call on Ghana Gas to take all the necessary steps to retrieve these monies. A future John Mahama government will not hesitate within our first 120 days to demand full accountability and ensure that all these wrongful payments, wrongful contracts are corrected. And whoever is found culpable will be held liable and will face the full rigors of the law. Because of such dubious contracts, as we speak today, there is load shedding ongoing. Gridco has been cautioned not to inform customers. Yesterday, there was a deficit of more than 500 megawatts. Today, they are going to shed load, and customers in Ghana will be affected.
The Liquefied Petroleum Gas Marketers Association has raised concerns over the looming nationwide shortage of LPG, particularly in the Accra-Tema metropolis. According to the association, bulk distributors are struggling to load the product from the Tema oil refinery due to a significant discrepancy in inventory. Over 200 metric tons of LPG are reportedly unaccounted for, crippling the supply chain and sparking fears of a widespread shortage. There's more.
Last week, some 11,000 metric tons of liquefied petroleum gas, LPG, was delivered to Tema oil refinery tanks and depots of some bulk distributors. TOR is holding up the supply chain due to reconciliation issues.
I can confirm to you that there is a huge shortage of LPG in Ghana now, generally, but particularly, most importantly, there's some shortage of the product in the Accra-Tema metropolis. With the exception of Tema oil refinery, all the other BDCs have sought out their reconciliation issues. As I speak to you now, when we checked, that problem has not been resolved. And that is causing the inability of the other BDCs to load the product onto the market.
Vice President of the LPG Marketers Association of Ghana, Gabriel Kumi, warns that if urgent action is not taken, the shortage will have severe consequences for domestic, commercial, and industrial users.
Our information is that when they try to do reconciliation with Tema oil refinery, there is over 200 metric tons shortage. That cannot be accounted for. We will call on Tema oil refinery to, as a matter of urgency, reconcile all these figures with the BDC that brought the product into the system. If we don't load LPG by tomorrow, there will be serious shortage of LPG in the system, especially the Accra-Tema metropolis.
The LPG marketers have described the current situation as critical, urging the relevant authorities to intervene immediately to address the situation.
Noted for its excellence in journalism, 4 Media Journal journalists have been shortlisted for the 28th Ghana Journalists Association Media Awards, which comes off on Saturday, September 28 in Accra. Media Journals Castro Senyala, Godwin Asideba, Bela Shen, and Stanley Niblo are expected to be giving awards as part of journalists who distinguished themselves in their professional practice last year.
The awards, on a outstanding work of media professionals. One woman demonstrates exceptional journalism, creativity, and dedication to truth. After individuals be almost support to the cause of journalism over the years. In the past, Bapanom, Yamamenomo, veteran seniors be almost do a tour, journalism education, almost normal, and a special and honorary awards. Special honorary awards. Who said media they play a very crucial role in shaping public opinion. Sebi can be mami kebi any democracy media then you have to deepen it. A fear award in 75 years of excellence in journalism, the role of the media in democratic governance and elections. And say award here it is a climax 75th DJ anniversary. You started a share 50 April about this is Samuel Wumi. And a double do a Yamam Union boom. And what you say, a few awards, ɛbɛyɛ kɛseɛ paa na ɛbɛkyɛn so na munim sɛdeɛ yɛyɛ no yɛnam saa kwan so ɛda yɛ corporate sponsors nyinaa ase wɔn a wɔn aboa yɛ wɔn support yɛ wɔn asɔ yɛn ase ɛda wɔn nyinaa ase.
Congratulations to all the nominees. President Akufo-Addo has assured the United Nations General Assembly that Ghana's upcoming elections will be free, fair and transparent. He told world leaders that the country's Electoral Commission has been adequately equipped to protect the people's mandate despite allegations of voter register manipulation for the opposition National Democratic Congress. He made the remarks in his final address at Ghana's president at the General Assembly meeting. There's more.
President's farewell year address touched on events at home and abroad. On the domestic front, the president moved fast to address concerns that the international community may have over the sanctity of the electoral process. You are aware the NDC has been agitating and demanding the Electoral Commission to conduct a forensic audit of the voter register. The president is aware the international community is looking and has taken steps to address their concerns.
The Electoral Commission, supported by Ghana's security services, is well equipped to ensure that the will of the Ghanaian people is respected. The 2024 elections will be proof of our enduring adherence to the rule of law, transparency, and the principles of democratic accountability that have guided our nation in recent decades.
The president also vowed to protect Ghana's democratic gains, pledging to world leaders that he would hand over power peacefully to whoever gets elected in the December 7 elections.
As my presidency draws to a close, I want to assure this assembly that the upcoming 2024 elections in Ghana will be free, fair, and transparent. Ghanaians have demonstrated time and again in the last 3 decades their strong attachment to democracy, which they will not permit to be undermined.
The president had unusual visitors of pro-NDC supporters who protested against his governance and called for the MPP to be voted out. Equally, a pro-MPP group was there to offer support to the president for what they called a sterling performance in office.
So we are very disappointed, and that's why we left our houses early morning to come here to express our concerns to the president that the country is on the wrong course. We need to change, and we are asking Ghanaians to do the right thing.
We are so proud of what he has achieved for the country. That is why we are here. The president will be remembered for a lot of things. The most prominent is the free senior high school.
On the global front, President Akufo-Addo questioned the relevance of the UN Security Council if they are unable to intervene in times of crisis, citing the worrying situation in Ukraine and Gaza. He repeated calls for Africa to be given a permanent seat on the UN Security Council and also urged the superpowers to ensure fair and equitable developments. Sani Abdurrahman, TV3 News, United Nations.
As the mortuary workers go on strike today, we are poised to bring you updates regarding that protest, and also have it at the back of your mind that we will climax it tonight at 9 p.m. on the assignment Wait for Troubled Morgues. Make sure you don't miss it.